You really like that, don't you?
This is like dun, 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 dun.
Exactly. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Testing and Production.
Yeah.
And
it's almost like when like a Star Wars or you're moving my scene again.
yeah,
It's one of those like songs that like dun, 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 that's
I know.
like mixed.
I know.
I like
it's one of those things I bought back during the pandemic and the lockdowns. I was like, I want to get more into video stuff. I need to get some like assets. And I bought a whole bunch of items from a place called Triune Media. They have a video podcast I always watch called Film Riot. And they teach you how to do video, film on the cheap. They started out very DIY. Now he's actually producing short films, like full-on short films, full production. And I wonder if we were muted into the stream. That could have happened. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the stream. We just wanted to talk to ourselves.
Rewind.
We didn't care about anyone else. No, the music was something that I bought a while back, and it's something that I've absolutely, like I said, I absolutely loved. We were, I was trying to find something for us separate from both of our own podcasts, and I was going through all the assets, and that thing just was like, oh my goodness! It was just like, yeah.
Did we add it? Did we add it to the closing? Because remember, 2 weeks ago, somebody were complaining that we didn't have any, and that with the band wasn't. We didn't sign up the band for this show.
Yeah,
we couldn't afford the $3.80.
We couldn't. It was a little pricey. I just didn't want to pay them.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't want to do it. You didn't want to do it.
I'm not. It's not coming out of my pocket. I've got enough money on my desk right now.
Exactly. That a little bit better, guys, on the audio to video sync.
Slightly out of sync.
Yep. Well, I just noticed the settings. A lot of my settings. This is something that happens sometimes. My OBS sometimes just resets itself for no apparent reason. Like a whole bunch of settings just gets reset. Are
you sure it's not PEBCAC?
Not saying it couldn't be PEBCAC. It could be an ID10T error on top of that. So
an IT10T / PEBCAC error.
Yes, it definitely could be.
Those happen to me all the time.
Sometimes I'm just like, why does this do this?
And sometimes it's the internet connection that lags a little bit because we have a video link together, and then we're broadcasting at the same time, which brings me to the point. One of the points I wanted to make. Nope, the other side. Do you see that little thing right here?
Yes. Does everybody see the little S?
The little S, right?
Right. Yeah, no, you're right there.
Right there.
Does everybody see that?
I have to be careful when I make that sign because I found out and was presenting in Brazil.
Uh-huh.
And during one of the rehearsals, I was asking the guy about the sound and video, and he was far away from the table. And I said, "Okay, so how's the video? How's the sound?" And he's like, "It's good." So I went, "Okay," except that in Brazil, when you do this to somebody, it's the equivalent of North American.
That's not good. Hey.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Johnny Chips, for showing up with some folks.
That's right. Our friend Johnny Chips, how is the UK? And it must be close to Scotch o'clock for them.
Oh, I think it's way past Scotch o'clock. I actually got to do a podcast with him last week on Friday afternoon, and I think it was only supposed to be like a 30-minute thing. I think we ended up going about an hour and a half. We were just having so much fun talking.
You're laughing, but I had the same thing with Mr. Richard Campbell when we did Run As Radio.
Yeah.
We're talking about ARM at scale.
Yeah.
So ARM template at scale. And all of a sudden, Richard said, "Okay, so it's now been 52 minutes. I hate you because now I have to edit that down to a reasonable time."
Well, you know, I felt bad for Mr. Johnny Chips, but he said, "Don't worry about it. I want to do this again." So I guess I'll be coming out on his show sometime in the next few weeks. Oh, he won't be editing it. Wow, brave soul. No one's gonna sit through that video. No one's gonna sit through that one.
I hope you're ready for the video.
The behind the scenes.
The behind the scenes.
Now,
crap, you should really clear that out.
Exactly. Well, let's say hi to everybody in the chat room real quick. We've got Buckeye Guy J-Flow here from Ohio. Hello.
Is he there yet, or is he still in transit?
No, he's in his house. He's actually unpacked the most important box got unpacked first thing.
The internet router?
No, the liquor box.
Oh, okay. Internet router is number 2?
Internet router, I believe, is number 2 after the liquor box. Unless, if you're smart like I was, I put the internet router in the liquor box. Also joining us today is Absablog and Lutely, Aspen Forrester, Carbob14XYZ. I think that is a bot. Carbob? Really? If you're not Carbob, please shout out in the room. We've got Dilemmas, I Am Pure, Johnny Chips, as we brought up, Mr. TJ12, not to be confused with Mr. TJ11.
That's somebody completely different.
And Vizio MVP. Oh, he's hanging out at the hotel today because he's got no furniture at the house.
Sitting on the floor of the living room.
You know? There you go.
We decided to do this in Skype today.
Yes, we did.
Because when somebody's doing podcasts, we are lucky in a way that we have access to multiple Teams tenants. Like we have our Microsoft.com tenants that we're in. Even though that one, because NDI is a policy enabled feature, meaning that if you're running in a Teams environment for your organization, you can turn that off. And in our case, MSIT or CSC, I think they're called.
No, they're now called MS Digital.
Oh my God.
I just got the notification to update all my decks for presentations.
So do they change their name like every year, once a year, just for fun?
No, they changed to MS Digital because they now report to the Chief Digital Officer, who reports to Scott Guthrie.
Oh, okay.
That's why they're MS Digital.
In any case, they decided to block NDI in the Teams tenant for Microsoft.com. Because if you understand NDI is a multicast broadcast. So if you're sitting anywhere on the same subnet as somebody who's having a Teams meeting and got NDI turned on, you can actually capture the audio and the video. Mm-hmm. So they don't want to take a risk that maybe Satya and the SLT would be in a meeting and somehow somebody would be broadcasting it without noticing.
Yeah.
So it's turned off for everyone, and you have to apply to get it unlocked. You, in your case, have it in your own tenant because you control your own tenants, which is the one we normally use. But not everyone has their own Teams tenant. So how can you start, if you're interested in streaming, start streaming with somebody else and you don't have the tools? There are multiple, and over the weeks, we're going to try them all one at a time. So today we're trying Skype.
And we're using an NDI connection from Skype. So it's similar to the Teams connection. It's just you don't have all the restrictions that a IT organization can put on you. So it allows you to connect to software using the NDI protocols.
Yep. So, and it's free.
And it's very free. Definitely. The NDI tools are free, and Skype obviously is free.
Caveat, we should have like a little pause the screen and have the disclaimer that comes out that it's not Skype that comes with Windows 10. You have to actually download the full client from Skype.com.
Yes. And the reason why I was thinking is Fuel Snobble just said something that just caught my attention. Is like, our reorg's management's version of refactoring, and it's like, wow. That's like a deep thought, but it's true.
Wait a minute. Is my boss in the chat?
He's not in the chat. No, he's not
He's not
watching.
So yes, it's their own version of refactoring. No, it really. This is my own personal opinion. The opinion in this chat are my own and not reflective of Microsoft.com.
Yep.
It's when a new manager, a new director, new VP, or whoever it may be takes over a department, they want to be able to
Yikes.
put their thumbprint and their fingerprint on the organization and be able to say, I did that. Like they're starting to pad their resume so that they can apply for the next job.
Yep. No, so that's true. Very true.
And they take something and they decide the easy fix is, okay, so we're going to rebrand, and they come up with this marketing plan onto why it's better for the audience, it's better for everybody, it's clear as to what the vision and the mission is.
Mm-hmm.
Because MSIT is, it's MSIT, it's Microsoft IT.
Not anymore.
It was MSIT, it was something else, then it was CSC something, then of course we had two CSEs. We had customer software engineering, and we had core system engineering.
Core services engineering.
Services engineering.
Yeah. See, now, only because I used to work in the old MSIT as they transitioned to CSEO, because it was core services engineering and operations.
That's right.
Underneath, I can't remember his name right now, who just recently retired, and then they brought in Andrew from outside, who is now the current chief digital officer. He is now reporting to Scott Guthrie, and that's why they're called MS Digital now, is because of the chief digital officer. So,
yep.
Yeah. I did want to do a quick shout out for Dilemmas for following the channel. Thanks for the follow, Dilemmas. Appreciate that.
You know, are we getting paid from Patch and Switch to be promoting their channel while they're not here and furthering? Well, you're getting their $3.80.
Yeah, I get my $3.80. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Because if we had our own channel, would we get to affiliate soon?
I doubt it. That's why we're using theirs.
You're probably right.
I always do laugh though, because I personally stream, and I get my average right now is 2.1 viewers per stream, and I'm like, okay. And then I get in Patch and Switch, and we're like 30, 40. I'm like, oh.
You get two, and one of them is you watching yourself on the other monitor. Or maybe you're like Anthony, who has like several accounts that are not tied to his name, and
Oh, jeez. I didn't need to know that. And
2.1 viewers, mom, dad, and some random dude.
exactly. I always get a rando every once in a while. And then I get my friend Rob Bedard, who just sits and makes fun of me the whole time.
Oh, that's
Hey,
funny.
Johnny Chips just resubscribed. Thank you so much for using your Prime subscription with us here. All
Yeah,
right.
and where's those subscriptions? Where's the proceeds going to again?
Proceeds this month is going to right now are going to St. Jude's Children's Cancer Research.
Oh yeah, fuck
'Cause, you
cancer.
know, cancer. You were worried I was going to say it.
Yeah, last week, my good friend and colleague Abel Wang announced that his cancer is back with a vengeance.
Oh,
so
no.
it's really, really not good.
You know
So
what?
anything we can do to support that, and I am a cancer survivor as well. So
Oh, I did not know that.
no, I've been in treatment for several years now, and I just stopped. Now I'm in the phase where I have to go back.
Check.
I did 1 year, 2 years at every 4 months. Now I'm down to 6 months. So every 6 months I have to go back for scans for another 2 years, I think.
Okay.
And if it doesn't come back by then I'm considered cured or in remission. And
Nice.
then after that, it's like once a year.
Excellent.
Oh.
Congratulations. I hope those scans continue to go well. Having been a person that used to help manage that scanning equipment.
Yeah, I know that the lady, the operator in the nuclear imaging section, is tired of my jokes.
I think we all are.
Yeah. Well, I keep asking her because every time she jabs me with that needle, those radioactive isotopes, because they have to basically fill my lymphatic system with this shit. Every time she does that, I ask her when my superpowers are going to come in.
Yeah.
And whether or not I'm going to start crawling walls or I'm going to, I just pick one at random for the day. So I'm either I'm either Green Lantern or Spider-Man or Deadpool. Depends on.
That's the one. You are the merc with a mouth.
Yeah, but do you know how ugly he is?
Oh, brother. Brother. Yeah. Yep. Anyway. Shall we get on to the topics of hand today?
That's right.
So we did talk about Skype. We're, like Pierre said, we're going to be trying various different technologies and kind of testing them in production. But we're going to be because these are going to be we're trying to figure out actually our backup systems for. What are you doing? What are you?
Oh, sorry. My virtual green screen, somehow some random window just popped up.
So he's going off looking at stuff when I'm talking. See what I have to deal with, folks?
It's the other monitor. Because I hit it when I was moving my my notebook.
AZ Cloud Elf does ask, are subs tax deductible since it's going to donations? Technically not, because you would have to be donating to us as us being a 501c3, and we're not. We're a regular LLC.
But if you want to donate directly to St. Jude's Cancer Clinic, feel free to do it. Yeah. Please do it. If you can, do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or to anything that's local to you that supports any of those cancer fighting organization.
I wholeheartedly agree. My father was actually, he had skin cancer and then actually died from bone marrow cancer. And it was pretty rough going through that. And that's why I definitely say cancer.
Yep. Agreed. So what are the topics that we have for the rest of this week?
So we talked about the Skypes. It is a great tool if you're setting it up, and you could have everybody on one call and then be able to separate it out just like you can in Teams. The other thing that I was going to talk about this week is lighting.
Yes, lighting can make or break your video stream. There's two things that can really screw it up. Number one is bad sound. So if you're using the webcam camera microphone, or a really bad microphone, because I've seen some USB ones that were like terrible. I've got a couple. You know, when you go, should I go with the $100 one or the $50 one? And you go, I'm going to save a few money. They should be all the same. And then you go with a $50 one, and then you end up sounding like you're coming out of. Hello. So stuff like that. You really have to. There's a few things that you want to invest good money.
Yes, for sure.
Camera. But even camera doesn't. There's many cameras that do a wonderful thing.
Yep.
We'll talk about that in another show.
Exactly.
But microphone,
and
you can
lighting.
get some decent one, and lighting. But lighting does not have to be expensive.
It doesn't. But let's just for funsies here. You shut off your lights. I'll shut off mine. So people can see what the room kind of. Here's what my room looks like without any lights on.
Oh, actually, I got one more.
Yeah. And so I am right now being extremely sidelit from a window, and here I'll actually jump into my my app here so you all can see this. We'll go into the show and tell mode with me. Ta-da! It should come on here. It didn't. Why not?
Oh. Did we not test this?
We did test it this morning. Why is this not working now? All right. Well, we'll come back to that. We'll go back to the 2-shot and figure out real quick why. But I'm extremely sidelit from the side, from a window, because, and here's the scary thing. I'll actually whisper to everybody. The sun is out in Seattle. I know. Don't be scared.
Is it the end of the world?
It's actually been sunny all week here in Seattle. Scary enough.
You can't tell people that the Seattle summers are wonderful. Not too hot, not too cold. It's sunny. It doesn't rain that much, because then everybody will want to live in Seattle.
Yeah, no, I know. The problem that I've run into today, or this week, frankly, is the fact that I am on call all week. Yep, it still hasn't picked it up. Weird. Okay. Something that should have just worked is not working.
Yeah, so tell us about your lighting. So right now you've got a big window, so you've got natural light.
Tons of natural light. That's why my side of my face is extremely lit up.
Yeah, so that right now you only have a key light. That's the window.
Correct. Now, what I have done in my office space is I have a whole bunch of shelves around me, and I have some lighting strips, just the little IKEA LED lighting strips.
Yep.
And I have those that I can turn on and off because I have them on Wi-Fi plugs.
Okay, so right now, did you light up anything in front of you at this point, or is it just behind you?
Just behind me. I did light up something that is in front of me, but it's behind my monitor, so you can't see it. It doesn't impact me.
Okay, so just that makes the picture a little better.
It does make it a little bit better. Now, what I've also done is I've purchased a couple of LED lights. And now these were lights that I got from B&H Photo and Video, and they were $50. And here is, normally this is my key light, but today, because of the sunshine coming in, it's a fill light. Which is unusual
for Seattle.
Yes, it's a fill light.
That's your fill light. Yeah. So now we can actually see you, and you're kind of separated from their background.
Correct. And then I can also add in, I have a background light, which lights up the background.
Yeah. So same thing for me. So I'm going to turn on my background lights. So now you can see, like, I have actually stuff in the background that's illuminated. I can turn on my actual desk lights because I've got two. I've got my key light and I've got my fill light over there. And if I need to, I can turn on my backlight. And the idea of a backlight is it's out of frame, but it's behind me, pointing at me.
Mm-hmm.
So because I'm wearing black on a black chair, and if there was like a black wall or something dark behind me, basically I'd be like a floating head.
Mm-hmm.
The backlight highlights just the top of my shoulder and the back of my head, and separates you from your background.
Got it.
It doesn't have to be a very big light, but it works.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, right now I've got another light on my desk for lighting up something that we'll talk about in the next segment.
Exactly.
So you said you bought those lights. How expensive were they?
They were $49 each.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, and that's why I was trying to get it so I could show a video from my phone. And the problem, they're a little panel that are about 4 inches by 8 inches. And I have them mounted.
You mean one of these?
Not quite like that, but similar, yes.
So this one is newer, bought on Amazon, and that was like $30-40. It's battery powered. Is it focused?
Yep.
Yeah.
And mine are battery powered as well.
So, and adjustable in terms of temperature and intensity.
Mm-hmm.
I've got this one mounted on a little tripod with a riser so I can control it.
Right.
And that's what I use when I need to light up something directly on my desk.
And I actually have a couple of Gorilla Pods that I've purchased over the years for cheap on sales. And the big thing is shop the sales. They are super helpful. I've gotten almost everything I have via sales. There we go. I think I got it fixed. Let's jump into the show and tell mode. Hey, look at that. We got it fixed. Oh,
okay.
Shut off the audio. So there's the little guy that I have. And I have him mounted on this is just a motorcycle mount attached to my monitor arms. So I have a dual monitor mount. And I've just put the LED on just a regular little ball mount that attaches to the arms.
Okay.
Now, in the other cases, I have, for example, behind the normally my fill light to my right is this little guy right here. It's on a Gorilla Pod on top of just a light in the corner of my office. But as you can see how bright it is, that's just getting blown away.
Yeah.
So it's not really providing any light. And the little guy that I have in the back, there he is. He's on a little Gorilla Pod too. Ironically, I got those Gorilla Pods on sale for $20 each. So they were a terrific find.
Okay, so if we're talking about lighting and cost,
Mm-hmm.
I started, and up to last week, you guys have all seen our broadcast, so you know what lighting looked like.
Mm-hmm.
Really, what I was using is, and I'm just going to change my camera angle if you want to show that up.
Got it.
So what I was using is this little guy here. So that's a $10 aluminum can from Home Depot.
Mm-hmm. Or it could have been from Canadian Tire or the Walmarts, wherever.
Yeah, wherever. So you can buy those for like no money at all.
Mm-hmm.
The nice thing is they do easily grab onto anything, so you can put them pretty much anywhere.
Right.
I had actually removed that part and put that on a ball mount that was attached to my post, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. Let me make sure that I am centered here. I'm looking at my feed so you can see it all. And then underneath, this is parchment paper for baking. So baking cookies. I use that as a diffuser, just held together with paper clips. And in it are the cheapest LED light bulbs I could find. Those are Wi-Fi enabled. So using if this, that, and then, or whatever the hell it's called, I have basically mapped those to my stream deck so I can turn them on. However, I ended up with a, how can I say that? A refund on my Amazon that somehow couldn't make it because it was from a card. So instead of the card doesn't exist anymore. So instead of refunding the card, they just gave me a credit on the on my account, and I couldn't just let the credit sit. So I upgraded my lights. To actual, sorry, let me move my microphone, to actual studio lights.
Nice.
So I've got those are LED 60 watts with a Bowen mount, so I can put different attachments in the front, so I could put a light box in the front or somewhat. Right now I've got just a regular can with a 20 mil mesh to focus the light, and then a diffuser on top of it.
Oh, excellent.
And those weren't very expensive. And in the back, for my backlight, that's also a newer panel, got on Amazon. It was fairly cheap. And it just sits there, again, connected to a smart plug in my power bar. And that smart plug is also controlled by my deck.
Very nice. A nice setup.
So it really didn't have to. I've got probably less than $200 worth of light equipment. It's just a matter of how it's used. And I didn't show that my windows, because you have the big window right now, so you're flooded with natural light. And natural light, as much as it's the best kind of light, it's also the hardest to control.
Exactly. Which is a problem that a lot of people have when they're doing video conferencing, just even video conferencing with work, like a meeting. They'll sit in front of a window with the window behind them, and then they're just totally blacked out because you can't see them because they're their whole background is just flooded with light.
Yeah. So AZ Cloud Health is asking also, how hot is the room with those lights? It's actually not that bad because those are all LEDs, so they don't generate a ton of heat. If they were xenon lights or
incandescents,
even incandescents, that would generate a fair amount. But because it's all LED, there's not much light. Plus, when I'm not actually broadcasting, they're turned off.
Right. Exactly. I notice I need to, and you brought up a great idea here. I keep forgetting. I was just at the store yesterday. I need to get some parchment paper because these LEDs, as everyone saw in when I was showing them off, even though I have the built-in diffuser on top of it, it's still, I can actually see individual lights, and that's actually giving me a headache when I'm on camera a lot. I noticed when we were covering, when we were running the patch and switch feeds for the Spring Ignite, I was getting a ton of headaches throughout the day, and I had to get away from the computer to really kind of get, or shut off those lights in between takes.
Yep.
Now, one thing I will make note: you own your house, correct?
Yes.
I'm in an apartment, so there's a lot of things I can't do. For example, I can't put up blackout shades.
You can't put curtains on your windows?
Nope, not allowed. I will pay damage fees for that if I did that. Hence,
well, how about you screw them in, but before you leave, you actually fix the holes?
I can do that, but they come in and check the apartment when they see, for example, I have one thing that I've already done that I didn't care. I opened my closet, I put in a closet organizer system, one of those wire, the tracks with wires. Didn't care. I'm going to have somebody pull it out. But I actually had the manager of the apartment building at the time like, well, we might let you just leave that because it's so nice.
That just makes no sense. So you can't like hang a frame in your apartment without putting a hole in the wall? Or a little hole?
I'm using command strips on all the stuff in my apartment. I'm not supposed to. Versus if I were in my own house, like the one thing you'll notice, I have still a lot of hard surfaces. If you ever come over and see my office, I still have a lot of hard surfaces, which means I get a little reverb on all my audio.
Yeah, I was going to say, for my windows, I put leftover ceiling tiles in that particular window because this one didn't have any curtains, just to block the natural light.
Yep, exactly. No. So something to take into account if you are in a rental situation. Know what you're renting. One of the things you can do, I could do, is I could close the blinds, and the blinds do actually do a really good job of blocking out light because they're thicker and they're super tight tolerance on the window frame. So there's like maybe a 1/16 of an inch on each side. That actually helps. In fact, if I got up and actually did that, you would see a total difference. This would become my key light, and that would become a fill.
Yeah, your ceilings are not suspended, are they?
Nope.
Okay. I
Hard
was
ceiling.
gonna say you could get those little clips on the suspended ceiling tracks and hang a curtain from it right by the wall.
Yep. Nope. Here we can jump over to the show and tell view. I've got see the nice hard ceiling up there. The good thing, though, is that it's a tall ceiling. My room in here has a 9-foot ceiling.
Oh, I'm in the basement, so I've got barely 8 feet.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, I've got at least 2.5 feet above my door back there.
Yeah.
Door over here.
Yeah. My ceiling is.
You can touch it. Yep. Oh, yes.
I got my green screen back there, but don't need it today.
Buckeye Guy J Flow. Yeah, I could hang everything from the fire sprinkler. You're right. I could do that. That's a smart idea.
No.
Goodness gracious.
I worked in a warehouse when I was like in my teens, and one of the guys hooked some kind of basket where like labels and stuff was. Just pulled a little, like almost like a clothes hanger that he bent and hooked it on that post on the end of the sprinkler.
Yeah.
And then one of these days the pipe bent and there was water everywhere.
I have no doubt of that. I have no doubt. I will say this also, though. I lived in a dorm, or when I was in the dorms at Montana State, one of the other dorms, guy played hockey, let loose a puck down the hallway, but he let it loose too high, like he was dumping it in the zone, and it hit one of the sprinkler heads. Like perfect, head on, took the sprinkler head right off. All the water started gushing out.
I'm trying to think whether or not our arena even has sprinklers above the rink.
Isn't that how they make the ice?
Not quite.
Not quite. Okay.
Not quite. So we just open the roof and let the rain come in, and then it freezes.
And the snow and the ice. So we've talked about definitely investments you can make in lighting and how it can help make a bad lighting situation better, for sure. And you covered how to do it on, for inexpensive. One of the other things I wanted to talk about was how you can use natural light. So if I did, let's jump back over to our Since I got it working, haha, the show and tell view, and we'll turn around and I can kind of show. I'm gonna take my headset off, but we'll go over here by the window. You can kind of see how just even having facing natural light can actually give you a really good solid picture.
Yeah.
Just making sure that you understand where the light is coming from in those cases.
And where the light is coming from is one thing. The other thing is to be conscious of where you are versus your light. As we all seen these presentations, or even in meetings, especially now in the year of the human malware, where somebody is sitting, let's say, in front of the patio door with the laptop camera pointing at them on a sunny day, where everybody just becomes a black outline on a very bright background.
Yep. You mean this whole view of, hey, hi everybody, it's,
except that because you've got lights in your face, we can actually see you.
Yes.
Sometimes it's just a matter of turning around, like sit on the other side of the table.
Sit on the other side of what?
Well, not you personally.
Oh,
but because we're working, a lot of people working from home and they don't have offices that are set up, so they're working out of the kitchen table.
Correct. Just know what's
kitchen
behind
table typically has 4 sides. Pick another one.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, so Johnny Chip says he just bought the Elgato key light, and they're very powerful. They can light up the whole neighborhood. Yes, they can, but they're also like $300 Canadian. I don't know how much in US bucks or pounds that is.
Yep.
But they're fairly expensive versus.
Yep. Exactly. Versus the $10.
$11 worth of lights and materials.
Exactly. Hey, Vizio MVP's actually also got a great point. Reflections on glasses. I mean, that's something that happens a lot, especially if you've got powerful lights. If I get it just right there, you go, you can start seeing that light off my glasses. That's the reason why I have my lights off at sides, because I'm looking this way, but the lights are coming in from different angles.
Well, really, your lights should never be pointed directly at your face, and that's the look that you get when you have a ring light, because it's right in front of you.
Yeah.
And typically you get that ring in your eyes.
That's the look they're going for.
Yeah, I know. But we're not in the fashion or the pretty streams. We're in
Hey, speak for yourself, buddy.
I know. I am.
No, I'm definitely not in the fashion or the beauty.
The beauty, like my lights are never straight on. They're always at a bit of an angle, because I want to have a bit of shadow, like on the edges of my nose, on the back, just to make it look 2D and not flat.
And I think that's the key part of having those lights off to the side. And this is where I'm kind of looking to see if Buckeye Guy JFlow is going to jump in. I learned a lot of my lighting techniques from photography, not from videography, but photography. And what you really want to do, especially in studio or portrait type work, or even when you're trying to take a picture of like a building, you want to know where the lighting is so you can see those 3D elements.
Yeah.
And pick those up.
And Vizio MVP is like deer in the headlights. We want to avoid that. Don't stand in front of the truck while you're streaming.
Yeah, that's a look that I see a lot from people on my teams that I deal with. I Am Pure says I need to learn more about OBS video controls, filters, and stuff. We can actually talk about that. It's one of the things that we can definitely cover.
I'm writing it down.
He's writing it down, folks. Look at that. And Buckeye Guy JFlow, thank you for saying that.
On paper.
Yes, it's on paper, folks. It's on paper. Look, pencil, paper.
Pencil, paper.
It's backed up. Oh, wait, it could burn. Never mind. It's not backed up.
But now it's on camera.
But now it's on camera, too. Buckeye Guy J Flow has some great advice here, though. Sometimes less is more when it comes to light. A little bit of light can go a very long way. That is for darn sure.
If it's well placed and appropriate light.
Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure.
Agreed.
Thank you for that, Buckeye Guy J Flow. Let's see here. It's about 45 past the hour. Let's talk. It came up when you were showing off the light. Let's talk about that little device you have.
let's put a bit of the background on here.
Yeah.
I hate having to control sound, especially when I'm doing some broadcasting or podcasting, or even when I'm producing for other shows. Not so much when we're doing on StreamYard, because everybody kind of controls their own microphone. But J-Shock, you will attest that dealing with multiple sound feed, it can be a problem.
Oh yes.
If you're streaming games, you've got the console sound, you got the chat sound, you got the music sound, you got all kinds, and the last thing I want to have to do is to find where my on-screen faders are, because they may be behind a screen that I'm right now sharing, and now I have to find it, move it to another monitor, or get it on top. So I wanted to go to hardware faders, and I love hardware faders now that I have got them. And I'll switch to my top view. I started out with my Go XLR, because now it has 4 faders, and the way I've got them set up, the one here is my headphone, because sometimes I don't want it to be so loud in my ears, but you still want to have your levels appropriate in the broadcast, so I can control how loud it is in my own earphones, but it doesn't affect the broadcast. Then I have my mic, so I can control how hot my mic is. So I typically leave that on 100%, and the gain is set through the Go XLR preamp. Then I have my chat, so that's you. So now I can lower you depending on, because sometimes you have somebody that's really loud and somebody that's not. And then I have this one here is my line out, because everything goes through my system. So if I'm listening to music, I don't want to wear earphones all the time. I would turn this on, and then my outside speakers, or you could probably now hear echo.
Just a slight one.
Okay, so because basically my out goes out to my sound system and the big speakers that I've got under my desk.
Mm-hmm.
But that's only 4, and I got used to being able to adjust it as I went. So I started looking for a little solution, and in comes this little beauty here. This is a Korg Nano Control 2. This one I got used, and it was, I think it was like $40-some, $40-50 on Facebook Marketplace in my neighborhood. I have seen them new on Amazon for about $99 Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically a MIDI controller. So this one comes with 8 physical fader and 8 buttons. So I could theoretically control 16 different applications that have a volume output.
Got it.
And what I use, and now I'm going to, and it's very small. As you can see, it's pretty thin. It does have a range of buttons that I'm not using, such as all these buttons here. I just haven't figured out the way to like map them to different function on my machine. I really care about is the faders. So if you see the little logos on there, these are just little labels that I printed and pasted on my controller, so I know which one. So this is one here is my teams.
Mm-hmm.
This one here is my samples from my sampler. This one is Discord. So when I'm doing the Discord, if chat Discord, I can adjust the volume here. VLC player, if I'm playing a video in the background. Sometimes I'm playing like a long video, like somebody's presentation or my own presentation. If I'm just want to make sure that there's no part that cut out, but I'm doing something else at the same time. I don't want it too loud. I can control it here. Edge and Chrome. So if I'm playing something on YouTube, for example, I can control them. Spotify, which stuff I listen to every day. And this is my main, so that's the main out. So this one's always all the way up because I control through all the other ones. Now, what I use to actually control those is a little application called Midi Mixer. This was free, and you can get it. They have a Discord site called Mini Mixer. If you want the address, let me know. I can send you the invitation. Oops. Welcome to the Discord. Yes. And it's basically a little application where you can assign your faders to applications. So once the application is running, just like the Windows setting where if you go into your sound settings and everybody probably knows that already. So if you go to sounds, at the bottom under the advanced, you can actually set per application.
So that's where you're setting that.
No, it's the same settings, so I can set it directly into the application.
That's what I mean. Those settings that you're adjusting on your on those faders update all that.
Yes. So it's basically just being remapped through the application.
That's amazing. That's great.
So now right now I could change. So it shows me any application that has a sound output. Mm-hmm. So right now Snagit is running because it's always running. OBS Studio, Teams, Discord, XLR, Edge, Spotify, Skype, and then I've got all of my everything, my Logitech Brio, but there's a mic, but I never use it. And my AverMedia, so my second capture card is here. And I can pick whichever one I want. So I will leave it to Microsoft Edge on that one. So I got all the faders and I've got all the buttons. And once it's active, it sits in the system tray. It goes automatically. There's also other buttons, but they don't map properly, probably because I've got the wrong Mappy control ID that I've got set up. But I don't have time right now to set that up. Mm-hmm. And it just sits in the background, and when I need to, I can just adjust them. But now it's fairly small, sits on my desk. So whether I'm in a broadcast in Teams, doing a recording for sessions that I'm doing, or videos for Channel 9 or anything else, if I find that one is a little hot, I adjust it on the fly. And that is it. That is the way I control the sound in my office.
I've been sitting here measuring the space for one of those. I'm like, okay, where can I put that on my desk here?
There are bigger ones, or if you don't have a Go XLR and you go for something like a Rodecaster, mm-hmm. the Rodecaster Pro, and it comes with, I think, was 8 faders.
Yep.
But the Rodecaster Pro is significantly more expensive than the Go XLR.
Definitely.
So,
but this is a good alternative, and like you said, you can find these on eBay or equivalent, on eBay or on Marketplace, or even possibly even Craigslist. You know, some people buy something and it didn't work. I want to get rid of this. Okay.
Yep.
I'll take it.
Yeah, and MIDI, so all you do is you go MIDI controller. That's all. Yeah, that's all I have to for you to search. Mm-hmm. And like there's a ton of them on Amazon, for example. Mm-hmm. And some of them are keyboards, like literal, like piano keyboards.
Right.
If you scroll down at some point, and you'll find them. There's one here, like Easy Control 9 portable mini USB slim controller for $65 Canadian.
Yep. So it's got to be $380. I can afford that.
Yeah, so it's pretty cheap. If you don't want to go with the full Go XLR, of course you could go with the Go XLR Mini, which is just the faders. They're not motorized, but really, who cares about the motorized faders? Motorized fader is like if I hit the mute button, it goes all the way to 0. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, where that helps in my mind is when you're putting them to sleep, then it just shuts everything down. But if you put your XLR to sleep, and the lights go off, but the faders don't move, you're still sleeping. Like your device is still sleeping. I know.
So things that are important when you're doing sound is good microphone, how far your microphone is from your mouth. Like I know, typically I used to do, and I would put the microphone just up here, but it'd be pointing at me. So this is still pretty good. But I find it's not quite as rich, it's not quite as deep as if I bring the microphone in close. And because of my setup, my microphone is directly in front of my face, but it's not it's not like I'm here.
Correct.
This would be awkward.
It is. And I've seen a lot of gamers and other podcasters that's how they, because they're going for strictly audio only. Gamers may have a face cam, but that's just, whatever. They're going for the rich audio. Right now, I know mine is right here, but it's pointed straight at my mouth, and I've tuned it a little bit to be away, but pointed at my mouth.
Yeah. I was going to say a good option for.
Are you leaving the show?
No, I didn't. I not planned on showing that, but a good option for a microphone is this little thing.
Yes.
If I take the wind cat off of it,
little shotgun mic, right? Mini shotgun.
Pardon me?
The mini shotgun, isn't it?
Yeah. So let me just focus on here.
Put it in front of your face. There you go.
There we go. So it's the mini Rode shotgun microphone. This is directional, and it's actually very decent. So I use this one in my portable rig that I made. So I made this from multiple parts that are screwed together and aluminum plates that where I can have my either my phone, my DJI pocket camera, which is a 4K camera, and then I can either plug this in my phone because this is a USB-C adapter, or a 3.5 millimeter into like an iPhone or an old iPhone or anything that has 3.5 mil.
Yep.
So that I can hold the assembly secure together, but I get something that's much better than the phone microphone.
Now, real quick, we're running short on time here. One of the things about that microphone especially is I see a lot of vloggers use that on top of like some sort of DSLR or some sort of camera like my Lumix G100. One of the videos of one of the vloggers that are like, hey, the great thing about the Lumix, blah, blah, blah. He had a Rode shotgun, and it's mounted in the hot shoe at the top, which is great because that's a nice little place to put little accessories like that.
Yeah, because cameras, the sound on cameras is terrible for most of them.
Oh, yeah.
Even like my top camera, my top down view is a recycled
GoPro.
Is a recycled GoPro that I put up there. It's a Hero 4, I think, so it's a fairly old one.
Yeah. But
it's 1080p, so we never broadcast more than 1080p on Twitch or on YouTube.
Nope.
I know it'd be really cool to get 4K, but lowest common denominator for everybody who's listening is HD, which is 1080p. So anything bigger than that is pretty much wasted.
Exactly.
The nice thing with the 4K is if you have a 4K feed and you zoom into one section, it doesn't pixelate too much.
True.
Other than that, it's not needed. So good microphone is, and
we can go into more detail on the microphones too, because there's if people have questions, we can maybe do even one of the things that I was thinking, Discord just announced an AMA system where you can, not an AMA, but where you can have a Q&A type of conversation.
A spotlight channel.
Yes. And I think that might be fun to try out, and we could open it up and have people ask questions via that, and we can try and do like a Q&A episode. That might be down the road a bit, something that we may want to try out.
Yep.
So we're getting close to the top of the hour here, and I just wanted to say a quick thank you to all the folks in the chat room right now. We got Buckeye Guy, J-Flow, Absol Lootly, another TT viewer, Aspen Forcer, A10, AZ Cloud Elf, Bible Thumbs, Carbob, 14XYZ, Commander Root, Exchange SME, Fuel Schnabel, I Am Pure, Johnny Chips, Muland, Ray Wyro 16057, Sorelu, and Vizio MVP Guy.
I just laughed because Fuel Snabble says, like, now that I know about motorized fader, I need them.
I know the problem is when you start learning about all these things, you really, even things, as simple as just having a soundboard, because, the question that we kind of have right now is,
all right, Twinkle Toes, what's your exit strategy?
So what is our exit strategy for the day here as we test in production?
Well, I want to make sure that we've addressed this because that was a complaint 2 weeks ago. Do we have music on the exit?
We have music on the exit.
Okay. So people, we can send people into their weekend with a little bit of dramatic music.
Yes. We've got the dramatic music.
Okay, this is not an ASMR.
ASMR? Okay, that's a totally different, by the way.
Yeah. That's a little cringy to me. Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Nope. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine.
It's just not for me.
Exactly.
Basically, the moral of today's story is you don't have to spend a lot. But if you're a gadget freak like we are, you're probably going to end up spending some.
Yes. Way too much.
Way too much. But if it's where you spend and where the best bang for the buck is. So in my opinion, camera and mic are number one. Lighting, you can do a bang up job with something really cheap. And sound control, not sound acquisition, can be done also fairly cheap.
Definitely. Well, I've had a fun time. I don't know about you.
Yep. I always have fun, and plus, I'm glad that we're not on Learn TV because we're not. We would
be overtime. Whatever. You know how many times we've gone long on Patch and Switch on Learn TV, and I'm just like, whatever. If they cut me off, they cut me off.
Aspen Forrester says, "Do I really need a new Stream Deck? Is it really a question of need?"
You can. Johnny Chips actually was talking about when he and I were talking. There are some projects where you can actually create your own kind of Stream Deck, push button kind of thing, using kind of boards with buttons and such. I like the Stream Deck not just for the deck itself, but also the software, because I have created. There's many things that I've created now that are automated. Like when we close out, there's like a Pico Producer. Thank you, Johnny Chips. I have one button and it does like 5 different things. As we go out, it'll start the music, do all sorts of stuff. It'll mute myself and Pierre. So yeah, it's a complete integration there. Another question that came up from Absol and Litley, he has a USB mic, like a wired connect, that gives feedback whine when plugged into my desktop, but it's fine when connected to the laptop. Interesting.
Is it the same USB type? Is it like a USB 2 port on the laptop and a USB 3 port on the desktop? Like, is it all the same? There could be many questions. Is it a USB on the motherboard, or does it come from a card? There's multiple things that can add Like if you have a microphone that's plugged in with a 3.5 millimeter jack, you want to have a ground fault isolator, which are like $3-4 in at radio. Does Radio Shack still exist?
No, they don't.
The Source.
No.
We have this. We had the Source here in Canada, which was basically the Radio Shacks that rebranded after it went belly up.
No, we don't have them. There's nothing rebranded here in the U.S.
Yeah. Anyway, so they're fairly cheap, especially on Amazon. That will take out some of that whine. Sometimes it's interference, so it may be something else. Does your motherboard have Wi-Fi? And if the Wi-Fi antenna is right next to your USB port, there could be many things that would say so.
Could be.
Hard to tell.
Yeah, could be. All
Anyway.
right. Well, shall we call
Do you
it
have a day job?
Shall we call it a weekend?
We should call it a week.
Yeah, I unfortunately have to go straight into on call. It's my last day of being on call, though. I'm super.
Are you sure you don't want to keep streaming for the rest of the afternoon?
I would love to keep streaming rather than going on call. Actually, knock on wood, it's been an acceptable week. It's been busy, but it's all been just answering a lot of questions and looking at a couple things. The only outage we had was yesterday, which is kind of scary as heck that I've only had one big outage like that.
Visio MVP just tried to share a link of some kind that got blocked.
Yep. Guys, remember, no sharing links because it'll get you timed out. So
That's right. Sorry about that.
sorry. That's them's the rules.
I gotta go write my Connect.
All right. Well, you go write your Connect. I'm going to go be on call. Everyone else, have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. We got Patch and Switch next week, and we got AZ Update every Friday at
10 a.m. Eastern time, so 7 a.m. Pacific time. I'm always amazed that you're up and watching.
yeah. I'm barely up by then. But everyone have a great one. Take care. See you later.
See you guys.